This movie is not just to travel, to tell people abroad, but it's to tell our own community and people what our culture is, how we laugh, how we cry, how we celebrate.
خلونا نروح ورا برادر هوتيل عندهم روم سيرفيس
روم سيرفيس.
الو
Hello, this is James. How may I help you?
والمسبح خلص بنروح الهوتيل بس بشرط كل لازم يساعد ماما اوكي
What do you feel are the lessons that you learned from this movie that you want to, not only apply to like your own careers, but apply to Emirati cinema? Because we're still developing what that even means, like what it means to be making stories and telling stories to the world.
I think there's sometimes an obsession with trying to write something so fantastical and outside of your world, and we haven't told our stories yet on a global stage. People do not know who we are as people, as Sara, as Meitha, as Mira, as Rawia. We try so hard to go so far outside of our world to tell different stories, original stories, but starting smaller, I think, is often better. It's a small, simple story, but it resonates, and it tells a lot about who we are. So for me personally, that's moving forward. And the next story that the next script that I've written, it is a little bit more fantastical, but I wanted to have that heart in it. I wanted to have a character that I felt you would see and be like, okay, so this is a different kind of Emirati that I haven't met before. And I'm going to try and keep doing that.
For me, it's a different story altogether because I studied abroad for 7 years. And cinema to me was always the West. Or now it also like Bollywood. Yeah. So for me, Hollywood and Bollywood were like the dream. I want to do that. I want to do something fantastic. And I actually like mainly wanted to do something that's different, and in the sense that it's more westernized in a sense. And I felt like when I came back from there, I really struggled with the sense of identity because I lost that I traveled when I was 16. So the growing up phase was always abroad. I found my identity through it. I explored it. I fell in love with it. Now I just want to tell more of our stories because of it. And I think because when I saw it, I felt like I missed this in my childhood. I really needed this in my childhood. Why was I looking at something that was a bit different culturally, different language-wise, different traditions, when I could have... It didn't relate to us when we were growing up, and we embodied that. Which we love, like, don't get me wrong, I love Home Alone.
Yeah, we love Home Alone, but it would have been nice to watch our Eid movie growing up.
Yeah, and Eid is our Christmas.
Eid is our Christmas.
So taking something from this film is the love of your culture, of where you come from, of your nation. It's a love story of giving back. This country gave so much to us. For me personally, they gave me so much. Without them, like without our rulers here, I could never have ventured abroad and studied film. They supported that. They're supporting us now. There's so much avenues to get into film. And the only way that we can give back to the community that's been supporting us is to tell their stories, share their voice, make their voice relevant.
I've had many moments in my life where I would be in certain events or certain situations, and I would meet someone that's been in the country maybe for 2 or 3 years, and they'd say, where are you from? And I'd say, I'm Emirati. And they'd be like, you might be the first Emirati that I've met in a personal setting instead of like not at work or things like that. It's something that happens a lot here, but it makes me proud to be in those situations because I feel a sense of like I wanna know what are your stories? What are you guys like? Why are you here? And having the support of everyone around of these girls it was so helpful in enriching the whole experience and the authenticity and just make the whole film as strong as it could be.
Maybe there's going to be a little girl at the Plaza Hotel watching this movie on her iPad wanting to go to Yas Island someday.
I hope so. I really do. Just to go off of what you said, this movie is not just to travel, to tell people abroad, but it's to tell our own community and people what our culture is, how we laugh, how we cry, how we celebrate, and some of it might feel like often, how are we going to change perceptions of who we are? But the only way to change perceptions is to show who we are and tell people who we are. And we need to empower ourselves and our voices and tell our stories ourselves, not let anybody else be in charge of telling our story.
نستانس وناخد طور. إيه وين 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 تلكو زي ده.